Welcome to the MoreMOBA episode 4.
Four,
yeah. Weekly recap. I'm Leviathan.
I am Corpusant.
We're here to talk about all the different MOBA games. This week we've got Dota, League of Legends, Paragon, Smite, Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's pretty much what we cover.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I don't think we ever explained why we cover these games, but one, we love them. We're passionate about them. We have played them. I think that's important, and maybe still do play them. But they are highest in viewership on Twitch. They are the games that most people do play. So if you have any interest in any other MOBAs, definitely tweet at us, get at us. Maybe we'll cover it. Maybe we'll delve into it together.
Yeah, and
but
I mean,
so far, these are the 4.
Yeah, you have games like Here's a New Earth. What's the one that's like iOS? 5. So, yeah.
Vainglory.
Vainglory. Those are the type of games where we originally toyed with the idea, do we cover these games and stuff like that. Here's a New Earth, ultimately, I hate to call it a dying game, but as more and more of their pro scene players leave to go play Dota. Why? Vainglory, I don't know. I just don't.
I played it when it started. I don't know. Well, we'll move on.
Moving on.
But yeah, just the idea is there. If you would like us to explore or try out any other MOBAs, leave us a comment.
When Gigantic launches, we probably will do some coverage for that. If and when.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Something happens.
First up, Dota 2.
Yeah, Dota 2.
The Dotes. The Doter. EG's completely gone. Oh, at least they have officially all left to the team now.
Yeah, they all left. Maybe something else is going on.
I don't know. I kind of feel like this is going to turn into a troll because yesterday, Evil Geniuses, the team Twitter account, tweeted, "Hey, go meet Universe and PPD at this station in
PAX West." Right?
PAX West. Mm-hmm. And several hours later, the team left. So it's almost as if, I don't know.
They were berated by their fans so much that they just left. Like, PPD was like, no more.
I'm out.
Yeah, Peter
Pandem.
Yeah, he's like, nope, not anymore. Nope, bye.
Yeah, so it's, I don't know. Sumail said he's going to take time off.
He lost Fear.
I know. That was he's always said that's his mentor.
His mentor, yeah.
It's really tough, I think, when any player on a team that tight-knit goes, especially one who's as influential in the scene as Fear.
Especially, for North American players, definitely. Everyone rallied behind Evil Geniuses. They still stream. Sumail streams all the time. He was streaming yesterday. Fear doesn't, but he's always playing Dota, so you can always catch his games in in-game watch.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's kind of we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. They had all their time to disband, and all the teams are kind of reassembling. So we'll see. There's also still the chance, somebody on Reddit posted, they were like, there's a chance that they all have to be released by the team because the owner of Evil Geniuses, when he left Good Game Alliance, maybe he's starting another team.
Yeah, so they all have to leave to move on to another one, maybe?
It's maybe the Good Game Alliance also owned Alliance, and they have actually broken up. Some of them are still on the team. S4 went to OG.
Right.
Which that's a huge thing for them. That's massive. But I mean, we could talk about roster swaps.
Roster swaps, yeah.
Until it's completed, until that season is done. I don't know.
Small patch came out this week for Dota. Very small. Basically,
Arc Warden
nerf. Yeah, the really big thing was Arc Warden nerf. We never actually got... Arc Warden, has he gotten to Captain's Mode yet?
No.
No, okay. He's still not in Captain's Mode. They're still doing those little tweaks. So we have seen no competitive real games with Arc Warden. I think most of the pros will agree that Arc Warden is extremely powerful.
Yes.
So for all of you who don't play Dota, the gist of Arc Warden, or the thing that makes him unique, is his ultimate clones him with, I believe, full damage.
Full damage, full item usage.
That's what I was going to say. All the items that he has, all on active items, are available as well.
Abilities, and it costs no mana.
Yes.
So it's only a short time, I think. It starts at 12 seconds and eventually goes up to 30-ish seconds. The cooldown is very low, about a minute or something. I'd have to look it up to know for sure. But the ability to just, in the moment you clone yourself, now every ability can be doubled. Every item can be doubled. So I was playing a game as him and I picked up Midas.
Oh, yeah. Free money.
immediately I went from like, all right, keeping up, and then boom, because everything was doubled.
Yeah. It's crazy because it makes it really interesting to value items too. Is this item worth a certain amount of gold? Now, is 2 of them worth that amount of gold? And certain things like, what am I thinking of? No, the silence int item.
Bloodthorn?
Yeah, the one before it.
Oh, Orchid.
Orchid, no. yeah. I was thinking Malevolent, so I think it's called Orchid, yeah.
It's Orchid of Malevolence.
Yeah, so Orchid. So the counters, like, you can, like, dispel Orchids, or you can, like, Lotus Orb Orchids, but then you could just use the other Orchids. Mm-hmm. So, like, having 2 Orchids is just so strong. Yeah. So people are just learning to build, like, you can't really counter things when there's 2 of them.
No. I mean, even if you have Lincoln Sphere, it pops 1 and then...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was more thinking. Like, you have Lincoln Sphere. Okay, I'm going to hit you once. Well, I have a second one to hit you with. It counters. His ultimate counters a lot of things.
And not only that, he has his little sentry things that he can put down. So you have 2 of those possibly, and it purges them.
Okay. And the other silly thing is his high ground defense is ridiculous.
Yes.
He has a zone that he can put out that basically gives very high, if not 100% evasion when the enemy is not inside the circle. So when you put the circle on, you put the tip of the circle on your tower on the high ground and the rest of the sphere behind it. So for them to hit it, they have to walk all the way into your base, into your barracks to hit your tower. And you're like, you can't fight that. You're just like, okay, I guess I'll keep pushing when you don't have an Arc Warden or your second Arc Warden. Yeah, it doesn't happen.
No, he's really strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arc Warden's good. I can't wait to see him competitive. Just like Pit Lord, I think Rat Dota will be insane when those 2
Kunkka's being played a lot too.
Yeah.
You X mark an Arc Warden, he teleports out, drops his clone, and then you X marks him back to the base. So crazy things happen there.
Oh wow, that could.
So like Rat Dota, like because now Kunkka's popular. Yeah. Kunkka also got this nice new set in the Warhammer chest.
Yeah, that's really what is it? The Templar? Or, no, Witch Hunter. Whatever it is, it's beautiful. It's
beautiful. And everyone on Reddit was like, this is how you make a set without particle effects that look good. And you look at it, it's just so detailed and so stylized. Oh, it's beautiful. Even if you don't like Warhammer and you like gothic horror type, or I guess it's gothic horror. It's not like horror, but it's the same genre of art style. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's good stuff. League of Legends.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about this. I haven't caught up on the whole, like, the post Reginald Tryndamere nonsense, but what's going on?
So now their head of eSports is being just like, there was an article that came out basically saying they have inside sources saying that he is very polarizing. He has his own opinions on how things should go. Last week I put it in the video. I forgot his name. Monte Cristo, the owner of.
I was thinking it's Monte Cristo. I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, Renegades. When
people
and
are like,
stuff.
Monte Cristo looks like Levi. I was like, not really.
I thought that. They basically, one of his interview questions for employees was, who is your favorite caster? If they answered Monte Cristo, he would burst into the interview to tell them why they were wrong.
Okay.
It's like, you can't be that way.
Yeah. Okay.
So it definitely is. I mean, that's kind of a wow, weird. But it keeps going, and they have more and more stuff coming out about just how the teams are being mistreated by the eSports affiliates on Riot's end. Of just, they're not given the money they need or the resources they need to be this, the monolith, or what is it?
Yeah, monolith.
Yeah, of a company that Riot is, and it's just like you can't have that massive amount of income and people watching and not treat the people well.
This may have worked years ago, but with the information age and where technology is nowadays, you can't get away. And that you should be able to get away with things like that, but word spreads.
It does.
Everyone knows everything if you really wanted to look and find it.
Well, and not just that. It's like you have so many people knocking on the door. Like, League of Legends is at the top. As Dota gains more and more viewers, as Heroes of the Storm keeps trying new things, Paragon's getting bigger and bigger, and we'll talk about that. Smite is getting bigger and bigger. So I mean, you have all these games that are really doing everything they can to eat your lunch, and you're just kind of doing the things you did 4 years ago, which don't work now.
We're not saying they can't coexist, right? I think we celebrate that they all exist together, but at the same time, yeah, their players are going to go to wherever they're going to be able to make the most money.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, make the most money and ultimately be happiest.
Yeah, be happiest, more importantly.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. They also announced all random Ultra Fire mode.
Is ARAM with very low cooldowns?
Yeah. Okay. So Ultra Fire mode, or
Earth, yep, shorthand.
Came out last year, I think, or the year before.
I get that mode confused with the one with the bots mode. Like super hard bots was a mode once.
Yeah. No, this is the one that's everything has super reduced cooldown rates, higher mana regen, and or resource regen, which is cool.
Play the characters that I like to play, all the mages.
Pretty much, it's like, or who else would
like Ezreal will be crazy. Just leap every second, just
Ashe, just spread arrows everywhere. That'd be cool.
I pretty much play League of Legends for a lot of ARAM nowadays. It's more of a social thing, and I don't want the anxiety in League of Legends.
No, it's because it's so mechanical. I think we've talked about it before. It's like when you have people that are like, oh yeah, I play fighting games, and you're like, oh you do, let's play, and you sit down, and you're like, woo, I'm hitting the A button, yeah, right? And then meanwhile they execute a 15
mash.
Yeah, they execute this 15 hit combo, and you're just like, oh, I didn't.
I think fighting games are interesting because like I watch them sometimes, so they're on Twitch. But it's one of those things where it's just like I watch because I'm so puzzled about what's going on, and then after a while I'm just like, I don't think I would ever want to watch this again out of this one time in a month, because what happens is one person just infinitely juggles someone in the corner, and you're like, that's really cool that you can do that. But then the fifth time it happens, you're like, this is really entertaining to watch. Not
well, and I think to me anyway, League of Legends has that same level of you have to execute perfectly, otherwise you get torn apart. I don't see the same, like Dota, you have this back and forth, and Heroes you have like, we're just watching the games of, no, they're at the base. No, they turned it around, defended it, and went all the way back. And there's very few, over the past year, I've seen very few games of League where it's back and forth. It's more, the laning phase starts, one team gets like a 200 gold advantage, and then it snowballs from there. I mean, there are some times where it comes back, and
How long do laning phases last in League?
I mean,
I was just listening to something about like Dota's about the same, anyways. Like after like 8 minutes, like there's a lot of roaming that goes around.
Yeah. Because you have your dedicated jungler. Top lane's always solo, mid lane's solo, and two in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
So it basically comes down to, okay, you get your first rotation of jungle done.
There's only so many things that can happen, right?
Yeah, now
it's almost like chess. It's written. There's only so many things that can happen with that makeup.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that, to me, as somebody who watches all the games, it's kind of a little boring. You roughly know the outcome or the formula. And to a certain extent, it's like, hey, if you love hamburgers, great, that's cool. And you can see people, you can watch this, like, oh, he's making it, and oh, look, this time he's doing something slightly different. But at the end of the day, it's still a hamburger. It might be the best executed and best tasting hamburger ever, but after a few of them, I'm just like, I don't want any more, man. Like, League of Legends is so formula. It's so built, this is this, then you got this, then you got this, then you got this. I just get bored with it.
Okay. I disagree about hamburgers.
Okay, maybe that wasn't the best example, but they always build the same way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I like my hamburgers. Goldberger, Newington, Connecticut. Go there. You'll be fine.
All right. Not hamburgers.
Paragon, right?
Yeah, Paragon. Not much this week.
This is an awful segue. I'm not just thinking about hamburgers, but not too much going on this week.
No,
they switched out the. Speaking of jungle to jungle, right? They did something with their jungle.
Tim Allen movie.
Yeah. Jungle Book.
No, there was a Tim Allen movie called Jungle to Jungle.
Okay. No, never seen it.
It's so bad. Don't watch it. It's a '90s movie. If you've seen Jungle to Jungle, by all means, leave me a comment about why you love that movie. New Jungle Minions.
Yeah.
And OG Minion. or defender is better now. Or
honestly, I can't recall.
OP, that's it.
The OP buff? The Guardian, the
Guardian.
The actual thing that you kill. That
now he's not just a big purple
pretty
robot.
much just stands there and just takes it.
Well, now he actually has a model.
Okay.
All of the jungle minions do, which is great. I mean, as the game gets closer and closer to not being brand new, it's
in beta, yeah. So a lot of people are just trying it out for the first time again, or for the first time.
Yeah, it seems like more and more people are trying it.
It's better than just like this block that said alpha content.
Alpha. That was bad. Where it's just like a white frame.
You just hit this square that just alpha content. This is a monster.
If you've never seen it, a Paragon to start was just white blocks with arms and legs.
I mean, more power to them. A lot of these companies really. Beta doesn't mean beta anymore, and alpha now doesn't mean beta what it was. And I think Paragon did mean it as a true alpha, true beta. Here's this 3 polygon model as my jungle minion. You're like, okay,
yeah,
but that's what they meant. This is really alpha. Please tune our game.
Yeah, I think it really went a long way, and saved them from falling into anonymity. There was this game that they were developing and it took so long and nobody played it and there was no interest left. They rode that hype train from, hey, we're announcing a game. 3 months later, here's the first screenshots. 3 months later, here's the alpha. So I think they kept up a good pace and they're still doing a good job with it.
Every 3 weeks means maybe next week there'll be an announcement and the week after there should be another person.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Narbash was last week.
Man, feels like months ago. 3 weeks feels like months. But yeah, that's pretty much it from Paragon.
Yeah, not too much going on in that front.
Not too much on
Smite's front either.
No, most of the games had very little. I mean, it's kind of a low point in the year.
I mean, the last week was so exciting. There's new heroes for basically every one of the games. So this is the week after. So everyone's
Yeah. What is that? The rest period. Smite, we got Energy buying Panthera, the European team. Panthera?
Yes.
Yeah. They finished top of their group for LCS. No, LCS is
SPL. SPL 50.
SPL. They finished top of their group. Energy, owned by Shaq, if you didn't know. Okay. Which also segues into their getting ESPN coverage. Mm-hmm. Because Shaq. I mean, he's still a name. There's... think of this image on Reddit with him camping. I don't know. That happened earlier this week. I don't know about that. You'll have to show me later. I mean, it's really exciting for them. Hi-Rez has put in work, and I mean, they've
tried so hard.
This year has been incredible for them. How many heroes have they come out with? Mm-hmm. And especially to be... Not only did the heroes come out, with the exception of Susano, there haven't been any that came out and immediately you had to be like, whoa, he's too strong, or they're too strong. He was the only one that I can think of that was just broken because his cooldowns were too low. And then they had to hotfix it, I think, a week later. I mean, they've all been good heroes.
They've been good heroes. They've been very interesting heroes.
Yes.
Very different from a stylistic standpoint. So in terms of age, gender, physical, body build and things like that, they're all different. They're fantastic.
Tara's a massive giant female. Mm-hmm. And then you have Jingwei, who's a little girl.
Child. Yeah, a little girl.
There was a cosplay and it was actually a little girl. It was adorable. Smite.
Yeah, I don't know. With their ESPN coverage, we were talking about it briefly, but I personally find Smite and Paragon one of the two hardest games to spectate. So with them getting ESPN coverage and them getting mainstream kind of... they're accessible, I guess. They're more accessible to the mainstream. It's really hard to follow what's going on.
Yeah. It's hard to follow all these games if you've never watched them, but I can't imagine, as somebody who knows these games, watching Smite, watching Paragon, it's hard because the kind of skewed aspect
You can see top down in Dota at least. That helps.
Yeah.
Like these games like League of Legends, Dota, you see it top down. You can see what's kind of going on in the macro sense. Where you actually really don't have a good macro sense in Smite or Paragon because you're always like over the shoulder, a little panned out like MMO kind of style.
It's easy to get lost.
It's easy to get lost. That just means casters and commentators have to try. I just have to be better.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one of the things that Overwatch does, which is interesting, is everybody gets that highlight around them where you've got like red team or blue team.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
I think something like that for Smite or Paragon would really help because oftentimes I know these characters, but I'm getting lost on whose team is whose. And I know, oh, well, wait, Thor was facing that. And now he's going that. Oh, the camera switch.
Yeah, exactly. It just rotates around. Like, how good are you at spatial orientation?
Yeah, well, when you have 3 lanes that are basically symmetrical and or on divided bilaterally. Anyway, I agree with you. They're hard to watch. They're hard to follow. Even though they are fun, it's just harder.
Well, that's what we have for Smite this week.
Smite, it's hard to have any segues with these because there's just so little content.
Yeah. Here's the Storm. Next is up next. Lastly, NA Fall Regionals. We have the last one before Worlds. It was today. It was happening. We were watching it a little bit beforehand. Very exciting. I'll be fair. Just to be honest, I haven't really followed as much heroes as I should. Recently, I was pleasantly surprised at the number of heroes and the different strategies that were coming out.
Yeah, it seems like now the amount of heroes that they have has balanced out to make viable alternatives and counterpicking.
There's niche picks, and that's where I am impressed that Glaurung from I'm going to get myself in trouble. So Glaurung can play like Zeratul or Tracer, and he just is the only person in North America that plays Tracer, or in the world, right? As a professional, not a lot of people play Tracer. But that's his character, and he does it so well, and there's a whole team composition built around it. When that exists, it just means that, your hero pool is robust enough where that can happen.
It's nice.
Medivh is first pick almost, which is surprising. His
so much utility.
His pub win rate is like 30%, but he's like on the top of competitive because he Underlord can just teleport teams short distances.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's more convoluted. I guess it's short range, unlike it's not like map range like Underlord. It's maybe a lane's length, but you have maybe I say 5 to 10 seconds to continuously port back and forth between those 2 points, and it's for either team too. So you just it's the craziest things happen. Yeah,
it's cool. I respect Heroes of the Storm a lot for getting as far as they've gotten with the competitive scene. We were talking a little bit earlier about how I felt like they put so much into competitive before the game had enough backbone to support it. Now I feel like the game finally has the backbone to support a competitive scene, which is great.
It's a nice, it's nice to know that a casual game like Heroes of the Storm can have a strong competitive scene behind it. That could be their niche, and they really need to carve that out. Because if you want a mechanically complex game that has a great competitive scene, you can play Dota 2. If you want a more casual game that you can invest your time in, get better, and maybe have a competitive scene to look forward to, Heroes of the Storm might be that game.
Yeah.
I want Heroes of the Storm to be that game. It gives it a purpose. It gives it a personality. I think Blizzard is learning that.
Oh, yeah.
And they really need to really hammer down on that.
Yeah. It's tough, though, because now they have all these products that are getting updated. And the Twitch viewers and stuff, and the eSports scene for Overwatch is getting bigger. You've got all these games that they have a lot of stuff going on in a lot of different areas. But I mean, if Valve taught us anything, it's you can do that. Maybe not perfect with all of them, but Counter-Strike's still high view.
Right, absolutely. People still play it. I don't think MOBAs are going to move anywhere anytime soon.
No, I think because it's so much fun to watch, you have, kind of go way back to the beginning, Dota 2 OG's roster finally finalized. They got S4, but they also picked up this Pubsar Anna. I don't know how he pronounces his name. He's a Australian player, which is already unheard of, who played on Invictus.
Okay.
As a sub, and is just incredible.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I just remember this tweet that went over my head completely, where someone like put down their roster and replaced one of the players as Ana from Overwatch. And I looked at it, I was like, I don't get this. And I just let it pass by. And now that you said that, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the cool thing is, especially with games like Heroes of the Storm and Dota and League of Legends and all these games, the coolest part about them is you can be just an amazing player and get found.
Yeah.
And like right now, Heroes of the Storm is still pretty, I don't want to say it's not crowded, it's not empty either, but there's so much room for if you are that player who is incredible, you could still be that. There's still room for, a fear in Heroes of the Storm.
It could be.
Yeah. And the environment is right for it. And as ESPN and, all these other websites keep investing more and more time into it.
It's been naivety between the players, too. We keep going back to Solid Jake, but, his tournament's coming out soon. Mm-hmm. But it really, it just shows the strength of the community in Heroes of the Storm. Just like, Dota 2, really, the prize pool for TI was huge. Mm-hmm. But 75% of that or so was from the community, not from Valve. So, it really comes down to benevolence from the, with the community, just to support your players.
Absolutely.
Because maybe you want to be a part of it too. And the Heroes is such a strong community game.
Yeah. Well, I think with that, though,
I think we're going to leave it there.
Yeah. We could keep talking all night, which we normally do anyway. But there's World of Warcraft to get to.
There is. Oh, it's such a problem. There's a Murky quest. So if you guys haven't played or have any ideas, I forgot. Here's the Storm. There is a quest where you get to play as Murky and all his abilities. His 4 abilities, when you're playing as Murky, are his abilities from Heroes of the Storm. March of the Murlocs and not Octograb, sadly. He didn't pick the correct ult.
I mean, you got to go with the iconic one,
though. So if you like what you see, definitely give us a thumbs up. If you have any comments, please leave a comment again about maybe when we asked about other MOBAs maybe we should know about, or about Jungle to Jungle.
Jungle to Jungle.
Okay, Jungle to Jungle.
Definitely leave a comment below. The kid that played
below.
Simba in The Lion King. He was in it too.
Okay.
No, it wasn't him.
Cool.
It was a different movie. Anyway.
I'm not that young. I don't know. I didn't grow up with English-speaking parents.
Disney movie.
I never grew up with this.
You will love it.
Otherwise, there are typically 3 lanes in a MOBA, 2 jungles, but there's only one website for MOBA news, and that's MoreMOBA.com. Come and visit us. We're doing a lot of stuff with Dota recently, if you're interested.
Yeah. Have a great day.
Night.